Hello, welcome back to the den. You join me on another lovely autumnal afternoon here in Hinckley, Leicestershire in the UK. Very excited this week, not because Luke's away, but because we've been lucky enough to have this E46 M3 CSL in the workshop for the last few months. We've done a fair bit of work on it, but also we're now storing it for the customer while he's having some work done at home, which we are only too happy to do for him. So the most notable thing we've done on the car is we have fitted AP big brakes. So we've got 6 pots on the front, AP calipers, and 4s on the rear with AP floating discs. So we've got AP rotors, and then the bells are from BG Developments. Excellent British company, white label goods, manufacture goods for a lot of big names, really great company to deal with. So we've got those on there, and then the customer wanted to go to a 10mm wheel spacer, and also we've gone to a wheel stud conversion rather than bolts, which is what they came with. So CSL, we're going to go for a little drive, which I'm very excited about. So just to save any disappointment, I'm not Chris Harris, I'm not going to be sliding this anywhere. We're going to have a little drive around, we're going to listen to this gorgeous S54 under here, and on the CSL it has a great big carbon airbox and it sounds incredible. So we're going to have a listen to that. Let's go. So we're out in the E46 M3 CSL, and this is probably the halo of M3s, if not of all M cars. The kind of special edition, low volume, hardcore M3. They made just under 1,400, and only 422 of those were UK cars. So extremely rare, highly desirable, and for very good reason. Because I've driven a couple of 46 M3s and they're fantastic, manual and SMG, both brilliant, but this thing is just next level. It's kind of hard to really convey the difference, I think. Yes, it's much more focused, it's probably not ideal in 2025 as a road car. I know our customer, he uses this on the track, and so we'll talk a little bit about that and what we've done with it for him. So the differences with the CSL, so it's the same S54 engine. This one is the S54B32B B32. This is the S54 B32 HP. So it's a slightly higher output. It's about another 17 horsepower or so, with different camshafts, different valve, and a big carbon airbox, which just sounds insanely good. It's got a variable inlet tract, so when you go full throttle at high RPM, it opens a second inlet and it just sounds absolutely insane. It's amazing. So we'll try and get some of that noise on mic so you can hear that, because it's just absolutely fantastic and addictive. Redline's 8,000, so it really does get going. And the extra power takes this to about 360, which is, in anyone's book, it's a lot, and not least in a car that is 110 kilos lighter than a standard M3 at, I think, 1360, or something like that, this one. So 110 kilos, to put that into perspective, is a very large man. I'm probably 90-ish, 92 kilos. So me with a couple of big bags of potatoes is basically what they've managed to take out of the car. And they've done that with carbon fibre roof. They're quite well known for having the carbon roof. Some of the other panels are composite, I believe. and then they've just taken out loads of stuff. The steering wheel is just beautifully simple and bare. There's just one button for the cruise control. It's carbon door panels. Most of the centre console is basically not there, so it just feels right. Everything, I think, just works right. It works well together, and it feels very well thought out. It doesn't feel it doesn't feel like it's a chore to drive, you know. It's the sort of car you'd quite happily drive to a track day, do your track day, and then drive your hour or 2 hours home again. They also came with these seats, which are a nice bucket seat, but they're not an uncomfortable, really deep bucket seat, but they're fixed back. They sort of tilt forward to get in the back seats, but you kind of got to be, as Jamie and I have found out already, you have to be quite nimble and slender, and thankfully Jamie is both of those, but I'm not. So on top of the extra power and the weight saving, it's had slightly more aggressive suspension setup, a little bit more front camber, and actually had a quicker rack as well. And I tell you what, it just feels fantastic. We're kind of pootling a lot at the moment in some traffic, typical British road, unfortunately, but we'll find some space to sensibly and legally open it up a little bit. But it feels fantastic. And the ride, a lot of BMWs, they get criticised for being quite crashy and having a hard ride, but I think this just is absolutely right. And it's running Michelin Sport tyres, which are fantastic anyway. So as I said at the top, we've had this M3 in the workshop for a while now. We've done a few bits to it. So the biggest thing being the brake upgrade that we did with the wheel studs. And on top of that, we've just given it some of our special Den attention to detail. So the customer likes his cars to be absolutely spotless, and this car is absolutely spotless, but it's just getting into those extra little bits. So for example, the customer requested that we change the bonnet catches because they were a bit brown and rusting, didn't really look great, and the rest of the engine bay is immaculate, like absolutely immaculate. So to change those bonnet catches, we had to take the whole bumper out basically to get in, because they're in a closed box section, take a lot of the front of the car off to get into that. So while we were doing that, we're able to go through all those components that we're taking off and the bits of bodywork, just check everything, clean everything. One of the headlight washers was a bit leaky, because they have a little extending stalk, and the seal in that probably just through age, because this is a 2002 car, just a bit perish, and that was a bit weepy, so we changed that as well for a genuine BMW part. And then as Luke went through the job, we cleaned everything, gave everything just that little love up just to make it perfect, and then slowly assemble everything back together. And the bonnet catches we then just clear Cerakoted, put a little bit of protective wax on as well, just to keep them nice. So it's those little touches really that we feel make the difference, and certainly for this customer makes the world of difference, because that's exactly how he likes his cars. And we're also fortunate enough to have his E30 M3 Evo 2 in the workshop, and we'll be doing a little driving vid in that in the next few weeks, do a bit of a comparison of the two cars, and we'll look at that one objectively as well. So a big thank you to customer and the owner of this for letting us do the video, and not really just letting us do it, but actually positively encouraging us to do it. He was dead keen for us to do it. So we're going to be doing the E30, like I say, and we'll do a bit of a back-to-back of the two cars together as well, and see how we feel the cars evolved over two generations. There was the 36 in between this and the E30, so it'll be interesting to see how the two cars compare. So it's well known that these M3s had this SMG gearbox, or a conventional manual. The CSL was SMG only. Some people have converted to a manual, and I think they're quite a Marmite thing, these gearboxes. Now, the SMG basically is a conventional manual, but it has an automatic control. So it's got paddle shifts, and it's got a regular clutch that's automated. So it can be a bit clunky, takes a little bit of getting used to. For me personally, I really like it. I think it suits the car. I think it's period. And I think with a car like this, you kind of have to some degree, accept that it is a period thing. The noise on the down change, it will auto blip for you, and it just sounds so good with that carbon airbox I keep going on about. You can adjust the aggression of the gear change. Now, I'm not changing this because the customer's got it as he likes it, and you can set it into a fully automatic mode. But for me, when you're pushing on in these cars, the gearbox really works, and I think if you drive with it, it helps. If you just keep your foot planted, it'll bang through the gears, it's quite clunky. But if you just give it a little lift, as if you're changing a manual gearbox, give the paddle a squeeze, and it's just a really lovely smooth gear change. And I personally, I'm a fan. I like it. I think it's a nice part of the car. I think it's a characteristic of the car. So for me, it's a big yes, I like it.